Your boy got canceled. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. I started recording this earlier, but apparently the mic wasn't working. So anyway, I didn't record too much, so it ain't no big deal. But don't forget to get the supplements. Check out the Desired Nutrition, pre-workout, good reviews. I'm telling you, check it out. Anyway, what is this video about? If y'all haven't seen already, Andrew Tate has been canceled. He's been banned from all social media platforms, and I think it's messed up. I disagree. If y'all don't know who Andrew Tate is, basically he's got money. He's a millionaire. I think he started out kickboxing. He's a kickboxing champion. He also, even before that, as a kid, he was a chess champion. His father was a chess champion. I think he's from Chicago, born in Chicago, but raised in somewhere in England. Not exactly sure. Rough neighborhood in England. Went through hard times. Became rich over time. He didn't become rich from social media. He actually became rich from other, I don't know if it was real estate or, we don't know exactly how he got his money, but apparently he owns some casinos in I think he owns them in I can't remember where he owns the casinos at, but I think he owns a couple of casinos between him and his brother. But yeah, so basically he decided that he wanted to be popular on social media, and he just started talking to his audience. His audience they're obviously younger men coming up, growing up into being, basically he's a masculine type of person. He champions men, and he doesn't talk down about women. He has his views about women. Basically, his views are that we're different. That's the only thing that he really says that people get upset about. Obviously, it's his delivery. How he says things is important to people, and even though he's right about something, it's the way that he's saying it that people are just like, they're cringed by it, But he's still speaking a lot of truth to the youth and young men. He champions men. So I don't agree with everything that he says, but a lot of the stuff I agree with, especially about being masculine, and a lot of right now we're going through this. There's kind of a small little war on men in general. Like, a lot of dudes are becoming soft. And then you got females who want to play the male role, and it never works. It never works. When females try to take that lead role, not saying that females can't be leaders, because females can clearly be leaders, but we're talking about in a household. Usually, traditionally speaking, the man is leading the household, and the woman is usually responsible for the love in the family. That's just one of the things that he's responsible, and one of the things that she's responsible for. Now, what Andrew Tate is saying is that men and women are equal. Of course we're equal, but we're not the same. Men have their strengths, females have their strengths. He's not saying that men are better than women. He's not saying that women are better than men. He's just saying that we're different. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with saying that we're different, because we are. I think we all could agree to that. Now, his delivery could be different, and I think that's what he's going to work on from here on out. If he ever gets a shot at being back on social media, we'll see how that goes. Now, some of the things I disagree with that he says is, I remember him saying one time that females should, if they're going to be on OnlyFans, then the male should get some of the profit. And I don't agree with that. Mainly because if a female decides to get on OnlyFans, if that's what and that's your girlfriend, that's your girl, she just decides to do that, that's her own business. She doesn't owe you anything. Now, what I suggest you do as the male in that relationship is you don't have to accept that. Like, if she comes to you and says, hey, I want to do OnlyFans, and you don't want that, state that. Say, hey, nah, you're not doing that. And then she tells you, oh, yes, I am. All right, do what you got to do. You can move on. As simple as that. There's going to be another video that I want to make about, there's another girl. She's not a YouTuber or anything like that, but she works for a company that, I'll tell you who she is when I make the video. But yeah, Andrew Tate, basically, it's kind of weird how he's been canceled off all social media platforms at the same time. So no more TikTok, no more Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. They kicked him off all the platforms at the same time. That's kind of weird, and especially when he hasn't done anything wrong, in my opinion, besides speak his mind. And what's wrong with that? This is a free country, right? We're supposed to be able to speak our mind. But if you're pushing an agenda that certain platforms don't like the left, if they don't like it, they'll get rid of you. They will get rid of you. So that's basically what happened to him. But I'm gonna let you guys, if you don't know who he is, I'm gonna let you listen to a couple of clips of, how he feels about certain things. It's nothing crazy. Like you'll see different clips on YouTube or on Instagram of him saying things, of him driving cars and saying women should do this and man should do that. But these are clips that people are making themselves, and a lot of the stuff he doesn't say, they take it out of context. So it's no reason for you to look into those things and be like, okay, this is what Andrew Tate is all about. He's sexist against women, which I don't believe that. He just believes that men and women are different. Simply, that's in a simple term, right? Because we're not the same. We are equals, but we're not the same. That's all he's saying. But here's a couple of clips of him, just ranting and talking and giving his opinion.
Males and females in survival situations, or the closer they are to a survival situation, the quicker they're going to revert to their gender roles. If you put a whole bunch of men and a whole bunch of women, you strand them on a desert island, the men would start having to build things and fight off the animals, and the women would start farming and whatever the women would do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah? So when shit hits the fan, everyone reverts to their natural gender roles. Mm-hmm. So if you live in a country like Romania or Russia, or a country that's poor, the closer it is to survival, the lower the economic prosperity of the country, the closer people are to their natural gender roles. So Russian men are masculine, Russian females are feminine. Mm-hmm. But in America, it's the richest country in the world. It's a first world problem. All the women get to be stupid and the men get to be pussies because it's just a first world problem. This whole idea of being toxically masculine is absolutely garbage. Nobody's toxically, listen, you're not going to call me toxically masculine if someone breaks in the house and I start spraying. No one's going to start calling me toxically masculine. No, there was no one called toxically masculine when they were fucking staying on the Titanic to die, right? The whole thing is garbage, and it's just by women who are bitter and jealous trying to insult and demonize men for being natural to their instinct. I don't want to rant too much, right?
No, continue.
I don't want to rant. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Hear this.
The world we live in today tries very, very hard to refuse a man his natural instincts as a man.
Yeah.
And this is done on purpose. This is not done on accident. There's no war on men on accident. Men are the ones who start revolutions. If you look at any revolution in history, it was the men who were on the street and started that revolution. If you want to control a populace, the first thing you do is control the men. When the Romans went and conquered Sparta, they killed all the men, all the young boys, all the fighting age males. When you're left with nothing but females, you can conquer and control a society. We're living in a world right now where there's supposedly some virus and you have to stay in your house and put a mask on, and everyone's complying like cowards. And the reason is because they've destroyed the masculine spirit in men. If you would have told men 100 years ago, we're going to take your business away, we're going to bankrupt you, and we're going to lock you in your house, every single man would have stood up and said, what? Who are you? You ain't listening to us. The people who are in charge of the world want to control the population. The easiest way to do that is to remove the warriors from the populace. That's all it's about.
So, I mean, that's just a lot of what he said. I mean, those are facts, you know, and they do that. And the reason that you should know that they're facts is because they do it in the black communities as well. In order to mess up the function in a family, or not even just the black communities, the black and brown communities. And if they wanted to, the white communities, they could do it on that side too. They could do it anywhere, to any community if they wanted to. If you remove the men from the family, it messes up the whole dynamic of the family. I mean, I believe it was Obama who said it himself. You know, a man is more likely, the kids are more likely to be in trouble when the man is not in the family. If the man is not in the family, there's no leadership. Not saying that women can't lead. Women can lead. But traditionally, men are the leaders in the family. Most women want a man that can lead. If you allow a man to lead, that relieves the stress off the woman, because the women don't naturally want to leave. And if women, you could disagree with me if you want. It's open for discussion, but women usually naturally don't want to lead in the family household. They want to be in charge of the love. They're responsible for the love in the family, because without the love in the family, there's, you know, that's a big problem too. You know, if you don't have somebody controlling the love in the family, which is usually the woman's area in the family, then your family's, you know, then that's a problem. But if you don't have a man in the family, the structure falls. The structure starts to fall in the family. So that's kind of what he's saying in a sense. You know, all these wars have been started. The first thing they try to do is they try to destroy the men. And then the next are the boys, because they're next up to be men. So once they have, and then they just rape all the women. Then they keep the women for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's why back in those days, women used to really value men, you know, number one, for their strength, their protection, you know, their leadership, their guidance. You're supposed to guide. So what Andrew Tate does is he tries to speak to the youth and help them become men, strong men. And there's a lot of people that try to push back on him. A lot of men that try to push back on him because, you know, they don't want to be against women when he's not against women. He's never said that he's against women. He's just championing the man because he is a man. Because when women do it, when they do their whole women power stuff and the, you know, women this and women that, it's okay for women to do that. There's no problem with that. Nobody calls them, because they're not downplaying men. They're saying, oh, I can do the same thing that a man can do. And what Andrew Tate is saying is that actually you can't. You can't do the same things that a man can do. And if you try to do it, a man is better at it. The same thing goes for a woman, though, because a man shouldn't be saying, I could do the same thing that a woman could do, because you can't. There are certain things that a woman can do that you cannot do. And if you try to do it, she's going to be better at it. There's no problems with that. Men are better at certain things. Women are better at certain things. There's nothing wrong with that.
We can purport that. We can attempt to label me with that all we want. I'm happy to discuss that. I absolutely and utterly love women. I have nothing against women. I believe women are the most precious things on the planet. They create life. They should be protected. They should be provided for. I would never let a woman pay for a bill. I would never let a woman, if someone touched any of my women, I would stand up against 10 men by myself and risk my life to protect her. I believe that women are beautiful creatures. I just don't think that they're as emotionally calm as men in stressful situations. I don't think they can fight like a man can. And for the same reason, I would never drop my children in an all-male nursery. I think that's strange and weird. I would only drop them in an all-female nursery. Women do certain things and men do certain things. And we live in a world now where the whole idea of the roles has been conflated to the fact where if I come along and say women are better with children and men are better at fighting, that I'm somehow fucking sexist, when it's clearly true There's nothing wrong with stating the facts. It's the truth.
Yeah, so that's a lot of the stuff that they won't play. There's certain interviews that go around and they won't play those interviews where he actually, champions women. He champions women as well. He's not going to agree that men and women are the same. As I don't either. I don't believe that men and women are the same. We have equal rights and things of that nature, and we have equals to job opportunities and things like that. That has nothing to do with it. All I'm saying is that men and women are different. We have our attributes that are just different, and everyone tends to, what happened with this whole, COVID thing, when all these jobs were people were starting to work at home and they weren't going to work and things of that nature. A lot of women who were stuck at home, working from home, who are used to actually going out and working, they started getting used to being at home, and they started liking the fact that they were at home, because they naturally wanted, like he was saying, a lot of men and women, when they're in certain situations, they tend to go naturally to their gender roles, right? Because it's not that women need to be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning. People don't realize that women naturally like cooking and cleaning. That's what they naturally like to do. I mean, not all women, of course, and not all men don't like cooking and cleaning, but a lot of men naturally just don't either don't know how to cook, or they don't want to cook, or they don't want to clean up. You go to ask any woman. You go to a dude's house, his house is messy sometimes. There are those men who are neat freaks, but I'm talking about the majority of men who are just messy, and their houses don't look like they would have them. Like, you think your house is clean, but a woman comes in there and she's like, oh, this is dirty. You know what I mean? Because women could just see certain things. They're just better at meticulous stuff, certain meticulous stuff. And then men are just not, they're just not naturally like that, right? But they're naturally like other things. They actually like to, build things or be outside and do, there's certain things that they're just naturally good at. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Why is that such a problem for men and women to grasp? And now and not only that, because you have men that are just trying to be like women. It's like, what is wrong with you? They're more soft. A lot of dudes are soft. There's a lot of dudes soft like that. And it's like, it's almost cringy. It's like you want to be a woman. And then if you think about it, a lot of men and women there's a lot of single people out right now. It's because women are looking for leadership. They're looking for a strong man in their life. And a lot of these dudes they're like soft. They want to be the woman. So there's not to get into the whole alpha and beta, thing, but those things do exist. Beta and alpha things do exist. And it's only now where people are starting to realize there's just a lot of single people, man. And nobody's really pinpointing why that is, right? So, but I wanted to talk about, now that we played some of his videos, I wanted to talk about what Vlad said in his interview.
You also have to evolve over time.
True.
You have to evolve. Like, listen, we did a bunch of porn star interviews early on, and at one point it's like,
you said all into Adam 22 now.
Yeah, Adam could do all those. For example, and this is someone you've interviewed recently, Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate, his people approached us to do an interview. Yeah. I looked him up, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. All the sexual assault shit.
Yeah.
Him saying that he moved to Romania, because he can get off on rape charges, and the way he downs women. Yeah, he actually said that. He said.
When did he actually say that? Like, this is what I'm saying. And you're a journalist. You're a journalist, which means you do your research, right? When did Andrew Tate say that he moved to Romania so he could get off on rape charges? Who would even openly, knowingly, who would say that? Who would agree to? So he goes to say that he actually said this. He quoted this. I've looked up on the internet. I'm not even a journalist. I've looked up I didn't see where he said this ever. And that's kind of messed up that he even said that. And you saw Academic's face. He's like, what do you, he's confused himself.
That's why I moved to Romania, because it's 40% of the reason, because it's easier to get off on rape charges.
That's a direct quote.
That's a direct quote. He even said that some of the women who have gotten raped by people like Harvey Weinstein, they have to share responsibility in getting raped. There was a woman, there's a video of him beating a girl with a belt, calling her a whore, telling her to count her bruises. He's claiming it was a joke, whatever. But my whole thing is like,
first off, he's not claiming that it was a joke. The woman herself already came out on the internet and said that that's what they used to do. She basically used to get off on that. Clearly, they're recording it. They were making some type of sex tape, and that tape got out. She's all in a thong and everything. If you watch the video, she's in a thong, and I'm not gonna play the video, but she's already came out and said that that's just things that we used to do, and that's my ex-boyfriend. Andrew Tate would never hurt me. It's so there's already so apparently he researched that, but he didn't research the outcome of that situation.
It's so misogynistic. And yeah, on Vlad TV, me and Andrew Tate could probably get 10 million views. I get it, right? But low-hanging fruit is often rotten. And you get to a point where, yeah, you may be known for this, but you have to grow and evolve, because as you get bigger, you're under a bigger microscope, you have more to lose, and you're trying to build a brand that could withstand all the little cancel cultures waves that come from time to time. And my thing was like, I'm good. I interviewed Kevin Samuels. It was a dope interview, but we never did another one. Because I'm like, some of the shit he says about women and so forth, I wasn't really feeling. And women around me, especially black women, were like, we're not feeling this.
So you interviewed Kevin Samuels, which they were probably going to cancel him at one point too. He was, he was getting close to that too. But you interviewed Kevin Samuels. You don't want to interview Andrew Tate. You don't like what Kevin Samuels was saying about women, especially black women. But on the flip side, you've interviewed porn stars before. You used to interview porn stars where women would sexualize themselves. You used to do that, which you said in the beginning of the question, or at the beginning of this video. On top of that, you're not okay with interviewing Andrew Tate because of his views on masculinity and females. And you interviewed Kevin Samuels, but you don't like what he was saying about women. You disagree with what he was saying about women, so you're not going to interview him anymore. But you interview gangbangers or gang members and gangbangers, drug dealers, pimps, hoes, real killers, people who've killed people before, been to prison, served time for it, drug dealers. I mean, the things that destroy black communities the most. You interview those people. You're okay with interviewing those people because you like gang culture. He's already said it himself. He's fascinated with gang culture. Why are you fascinated with gang culture? Do you not know what they do to each other? But you're fascinated by that. So you'll interview those people because that fascinates you. But that's not an easy life for them to live. A lot of those guys are dealing with, shootings all the time. They're looking over their shoulders all the time. if you're in a gang, you're usually in doing some type of drug dealing or whatever. Usually, not all the time, right? These people are, you know, risking their lives every day. You don't know if they don't know if they're gonna get shot at. They don't know what's gonna happen to them when they're living that gang culture lifestyle. But it's fascinating to you, and you're okay with interviewing those people when they kill each other, essentially, right? That's okay with you. But you don't want to interview Andrew Tate because he champions men and he has certain views on women that are not all disrespectful to women. And you're worried about Kevin Samuels and what he says about black women. That's the thing I have a problem with Vlad and what he's saying here. And you know, with academic, you know, I don't have a problem with academic. I mean, he kind of cleaned it up towards the end of how he feels about him doing interviews, but that's strange to me that somebody is like that.
This is insulting. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And you have to put certain things aside. Now, you interviewed him.
Yeah.
And I mean, did he talk about any of this shit during the interview?
Well, I mean, some of the stuff you quoted, I didn't know too much about.
Yeah.
Really, the majority
Nobody
of
knows
stuff,
about it.
We talked about was just his view on just like, you know, relationships.
You know, holding women hostage and rape type shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I looked him up, I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I'm just simply not.
How long did you look him up, bro? Did you looked him up and you just like, oh, he had his house raided for holding women hostages in rape cases. Did you not do, that's all the research that you did? You didn't see the outcome of it? The outcome was no charges were made. Apparently he was swatted. So somebody it's just like when you're in school and people call in bomb threats and everybody's outside the school now, but there's no real bomb, but the cops show up. The cops show up and they, you know, they sweep the school and they find out, oh man, there's no bomb here. It was just a prank call. The same thing happened to him. Someone called, maybe some woman that was upset with him, whatever. She made a claim. The cops investigated. They came in there. The SWAT team came in there. They did their investigation, figured out, oh, there's no crime here. All right, you're off the hook, basically. So what's the problem? You didn't do that much research then. You just automatically dismissed him. That's real weird. That's strange to me.
Feeling it at this point in my life.
Yeah, well, I think he tried to have an explanation, but I mean,
Everyone's
that was
got an explanation. I get it, but at the end of the day, I'm not a misogynistic person.
Yeah.
I am a man.
Nobody said he's
probably 80,
misogynistic.
85% male audience, and I understand that, and I cater to that. But at some point, you say it's not worth it.
Well, I think.
So I guess, I mean, yeah, that's his breaking point right there, man. That's where he draws the line. You know, he's interviewed gang members, gang bangers, you know, real killers, real drug dealers, real cartel, you know what I'm saying, female drug dealers, porn stars. But Andrew Tate, man, that's where he draws the line right there, man. You can't do that, man. You can't, you know. And then Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying, he did it for the culture, I guess, you know what I'm saying, because black women were upset, you know, so he was like, hey man, I can't do that. You know, that's where I draw the line, man. If you're getting the black women upset, man, I can't have you back on the show, man. Can't have you back on the show. I don't like what you say about women or black women, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's corny to me, man. And I think that's just kind of corny to me, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Hit me up on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Let me know what you think. And yeah, comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.